Back here in Europe, protests are expected this weekend in the German city of Essen, where the far-right Alternative for Germany is holding its summer conference. The party is riding somewhat high following recent electoral successes, despite a series of scandals. Observers say infighting could see the AFD shift even further to the right.
2024 was meant to be their year. The far-right Alternative for Germany was riding high in the polls ahead of pivotal elections at the EU and in their eastern German heartland.
We're ready for more.
But things didn't go to plan. In January, hundreds of thousands of people across Germany took to the streets.
What's happening right now with the AFD is not the Germany I came to and came for, and I'm disgusted.
The demonstrations were sparked by reports that AFD figures attended a meeting at this villa outside Berlin. They're said to have discussed plans for the mass deportation of German citizens. Party leaders called it a stitch-up, but more trouble followed. A leading figure in the party was found guilty of using Nazi slogans at a rally. Then the party's top candidates for the EU elections were hit with scandal. Maximilian Krah's closest aide was arrested on suspicion of spying for China. His running mate was then accused of receiving money from a Russian disinformation campaign. The pair were dropped from the AFD's election offensive.
I will not gloss over what has been a setback this week to our important project.
To make matters worse, the French far-right nationalist leader, Marine Le Pen, broke off her alliance with the AFD in the European Parliament. Despite that, the party was celebrating on European election night.
Really happy, and that gives us a lot of tailwind for the East German state elections.
But a look at their polls show it could have been much better. Some in the party think the leadership should have stood by their candidates. Now the conference sets the stage for rival factions to have their say, and it could see the party's extreme wing try to assert more power.
All right, I want to bring in now DW's Alexander Gerst. He is at an anti-AFD protest in Essen in Western Germany, where that party conference is taking place. So, Alex, just tell us, what are you hearing? What are you seeing there?
Well, Brent, it feels and it looks like a big party actually going on here. But the message that protesters want to send is a rather serious one. They want to send a signal against the far-right AFD, and they want to show that the city of Essen does not welcome the AFD party convent that takes place this weekend here in the city. What you are seeing and maybe also hearing behind me is actually just the first glimpse of what to expect tomorrow. Tomorrow, 100,000 people are expected to come to the city to protest, to peacefully protest. That is what our organizers have highlighted. Churches, unions, Fridays for Future, they all have called for the demonstrations. And they have one goal, and that is to block as many streets as possible to prevent AFD delegates from arriving. So the goal is essentially to cancel, to have the AFD party convent cancelled, or at least to have it postponed because the delegates cannot arrive in time.
Okay. I have to say, it's the first time I've seen a political protest with people dancing to techno and pump up the jam. What about this party conference, though? What can we expect to come out of it?
Yeah, we can expect the show of unity among AFD politicians. I think this is the most important message they want to send, because we have state elections coming up in fall, in 3 state elections in the east of Germany. And in all of those 3, the AFD party is actually leading the polls, so it is very likely that they could, in the elections, after the elections, be the strongest party in those regions. The logic now behind the AFD strategy is the less open conflict at this party convent tomorrow, the higher the chances for success. So we expect the leadership to be re-elected and little room for open conflict. But as we have learned from AFD party convents in the past, it is better to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're getting right now with the techno in the background. Alexander Gerst in the city of Essen. Alexander, thank you.